Trump's controversial order. Forcible hospitalization of homeless people. A bold move by President Trump has sparked controversy and raised important questions about the treatment of homelessness and mental health. Trump's executive order aims to make it easier to forcibly hospitalize homeless individuals with mental illness and addiction, a step towards what the administration calls restoring public order in U.S. cities. But here's where it gets controversial. This order seeks to overturn existing legal protections that limit involuntary commitment, potentially returning the nation to a dark era of unjustly locking people away. The order argues that shifting homeless individuals into long-term institutional settings will solve the issue of vagrancy. However, critics, including Jesse Rabinowitz from the National Homelessness Law Center, argue that this approach is neither compassionate nor effective. They warn that it does nothing to address the root causes of homelessness and fails to provide affordable housing solutions. And this is the part most people miss. The order's impact is uncertain because states have the power to set laws and handle involuntary commitments. Critics further emphasize that cash-strapped states may not have the capacity to detain more individuals, raising concerns about the potential for unjust incarceration. The order also directs agencies to prioritize funding from mental health and drug courts, while cutting funding for harm reduction programs, which the administration believes facilitate illegal drug use. It further calls for prioritizing funding for states and cities that enforce laws on open-air drug use, camping, loitering, and squatting. This executive order comes at a time when the Trump administration has slashed billions in grants for substance abuse and mental health services, raising questions about the sincerity of its intentions. Regina LaBelle, a former drug policy official, highlights the contradiction. While issuing an executive order, the administration is disinvesting in crucial treatment and funding that could prevent homelessness and untreated health conditions. Homelessness and the perception of street crime have become potent political issues, especially as the nation faces a housing crisis. The Supreme Court's ruling last year allowing cities to ban homeless residents from sleeping outside has further complicated matters. Dozens of states got expanded involuntary commitment laws in recent years, including Democratic-controlled states. This shift illustrates a growing recognition of the need to address the intertwined crises of mental health and addiction more aggressively. However, the question remains, is forced treatment the answer, or does it merely perpetuate a cycle of institutionalization? In Oregon, lawmakers are pushing a bill to make it easier to force individuals into treatment, while California and New York have expanded criteria for involuntary commitments. These moves reflect a nationwide trend, but critics argue that they may not lead to significant increases in forced hospitalizations. The nation's long-standing struggle with forced hospitalizations is highlighted by Supreme Court rulings in the 1970s, which established due process rights for individuals with mental illness and set higher legal thresholds for involuntary commitment. Trump's rhetoric, suggesting a desire for retrenchment and a return to institutionalization, stands in contrast to these legal protections. Keith Humphreys, a former White House drug policy advisor, points out that the federal government has limited power to force states to change their involuntary commitment practices. While the order may be largely symbolic, it reflects a broader frustration with homelessness and public drug use, an area where public policy has indeed failed. So, is forced hospitalization the solution, or does it merely mask the deeper issues of poverty, lack of affordable housing, and inadequate mental health services? The debate continues, and we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below.